Hey everyone, so I am currently in New Delhi, India. I just got here after a 15-hour direct flight from Chicago. I only got a few hours of sleep on the plane, and now I have to figure out their metro system. Well, that wasn't hard to figure out. I made it to the metro station, all without getting harassed by taxi drivers. This metro leaves directly from the airport all the way to the downtown of the city, apparently every 15 minutes. And that's nice because it allows me to avoid all the traffic around here.
1 Paytm, WhatsApp or Amazon Pay.
This
Railways.
is what the metro looks like. Not bad for $1. That metro system was my first impression of India, and honestly it's a lot better than what we have in Chicago. So far so good. I'm currently walking about 2 miles to my Airbnb, and it's about as chaotic as I expected. This is one of the rare sidewalks that I'll find, and obviously I still need to pay attention to where I'm going. And when there's not a sidewalk, I have to walk in the streets, which is, I mean, it is what it is. I just stumbled upon some kids playing cricket. They asked me to join them, and normally I would, but I'm in a bit of a hurry and I have a headache. So those are two good reasons not to play cricket. I just checked into my Airbnb. I'm going out again for a little bit before it gets dark. I want to get back before it gets dark because of these guys over here. Recently, Delhi was the home of the G20 summit, and from what I read, one issue that they had with hosting it at the time was dealing with all the monkeys that were around the city. They didn't want the monkeys scaring away the foreign representatives. Delhi's a little more walkable than I expected it to be, because sure, you have these huge intersections like this one, but whenever you do, you have these walkways that go over them, and they're all pretty fancy. I like them. I just bought some apples for myself, which I immediately realized was a bad move, because stray dogs like apples, and I do not like stray dogs. At least most of them. Some of them are cool. A lot of tourists like to fly into Delhi and then not spend much time here, and then go down to Agra, which is where the Taj Mahal is. And then from there they go over to another city called Jaipur, and then go back to Delhi from there. So that route is called the Golden Triangle, and I will not be doing that. Instead, I am going to spend 3 nights in Delhi and then go north into the Himalayas. Well, this is a bit exciting. It's now 5:30 a.m. and there was just an earthquake in Delhi. I was in my Airbnb and it just started shaking, and yeah, I'm gonna stay outside for like the next 15 to 20 minutes just to make sure I, don't die. It's now been about 30 minutes since the earthquake happened, and there haven't been any aftershocks, or at least not that I've felt. And my host reassures me that the house is built on like pretty stable foundation. So I'm going back in now, and hopefully I don't die. If you're watching this, I did not die in this earthquake. Seems like the excitement from the earthquake is all over now. And as I found out, there was actually a deadly stampede yesterday at the train station just hours before I got there. So yeah, shit's been pretty crazy in India so far. I just made it to a very large park, and at the entrance they frisked me. Well, not just me, they frisk everyone who comes in here. But yeah, they're pretty serious about security in India. That guy seems to be looking for something. Probably food. Animals love food. I'm excited to see that they have chipmunks here. Wasn't expecting to find chipmunks in India. Delhi has a pretty bad reputation as being chaotic and loud, but this park is very nice and quiet for the most part, except for those birds. You got all sorts of wildlife in this park, except for monkeys. I haven't seen any monkeys yet. I read online that back in 2001, there was a rumor of a giant monkey man roaming the streets of Delhi, but for as much hysteria as that caused, nobody could seem to find this giant monkey man. So I'll keep my eye out for the monkey man of Delhi. I am slowly making my way over to what I believe is Delhi's most famous tourist attraction. It is a red fort, and it's called the Red Fort. Found my first monkey of the trip, just hanging out at the police station. Just found out that the Red Fort is closed on Mondays, and today's a Monday. That's what I get for not doing my homework. Well, the Red Fort may have been closed today, but this mosque is not. So I'm walking around here, and in order to get into here, I had to take off my shoes and wear this thing because they do not like when people wear shorts to this mosque. Apparently, I am not allowed to shoot music videos here. So there goes my plans. The monkeys over there want that fruit, even though they don't have the money for it. Seems like the general rule of thumb is if you have fruit on you, then the monkeys will fuck you up. But if you don't, then you're fine. It is pretty crazy that the first city that you visit when you go to India is Delhi. It's like being introduced to heavy metal, and the first band you listen to is Cattle Decapitation. One thing that I didn't realize before coming here was that India basically has its own payment system that relies on like a QR code. And I wasn't prepared for that. I only have cash on me, and my credit cards don't seem to work here. And unfortunately, I only withdrew about $100 at the airport. So sooner or later, I'm going to have to find an ATM and at least take care of that. There's a picture of Trump and Modi hanging out. I'm glad that they're good friends. When you're done watching this video, go watch this guy. I'm sure he's good. I'm now in the financial district of Delhi, called Connaught Place, and it's noticeably quieter here compared to some of the other districts. And yeah, I see that there is a portion of the district that has some street art, so I'm curious to check that out. This whole area is split between Delhi and New Delhi, and the way that you can tell which is which is that if something looks newer, then it's New Delhi. There's a dude back there. I think I finally lost him, but he was following me for like about, I don't know, half a mile. He kept saying, "Oh, I don't want any money, I don't want any money." And he just wanted to tell me how much he likes Trump and Modi. I'm guessing that guy wanted money. Well, it is now the next morning. Unfortunately, I pulled my leg pretty badly last night somehow. I don't even know how, but yeah, it just happened when I was sitting in bed. And yeah, hopefully that doesn't get in the way of things today, because I kind of still feel it today. No, it won't. Shut the fuck up. Yesterday I had that one guy follow me. Now it's that dog. I don't know why, but this dog seems to think that I have food, even though I don't. I've got to say, New Delhi is a lot calmer to walk around than Old Delhi is. In Old Delhi, it's just chaos, and you know, you have like monkeys harassing you and whatnot. But over here, it looks more like this. So just after I said that, some giant fucking raven thing scratched my head. So I'm hoping I don't die from like the bird flu or anything like that. Probably not. There's some monkeys hanging out, and there's a baby monkey over there. That's so fucking cute. I love baby monkeys. walking along India's version of the National Mall, the grassy kind, not the store kind. And over there in the distance, you have India Gate, which is one of the big things in India. India Gate seems like less of a gate and more of a large object. So there are a couple of cities in the Delhi metropolitan area. There's Delhi, there's New Delhi, and I think a couple others that I can't remember. And when you put their populations together, it is about 33 million people. So to put that into perspective, there are only about 5 or 6 million people in Ireland. So if you ever thought like, hey, I bet there are a bunch of Irish people, that is true, but there are way more people in Delhi. I arrived at Lodi Garden, which is one of the big gardens in town, and apparently these are the birds that I can expect to see here. Seems like a pretty nice garden so far. Got one of those birds over there. Not sure what that one is. I'll go back and look at the sign later. At the center of this garden, there's this giant tomb. I apologize, but I don't know who's buried in it. This garden fucking rules. It has all sorts of exotic birds, but unfortunately I've barely been able to capture any on film. But trust me, they're there. This place also has these ground squirrel chipmunk things. Oop. I have no idea what that is, but I mean, it looks cool. I'll check it out. Still don't know what this monument is, but it's protected, so I won't be damaging it today. I was about to leave the garden, but it turns out that there's a third tomb, and this one is even bigger than the other two. It's very big. This tomb is awesome. I'll be honest, I don't really plan a whole lot for these trips. I kind of just walk around and stumble on cool shit like this. It doesn't seem like there's a whole lot to explore inside, but I'm sure that this is a nice place to chill out when it's fucking hot during the summer. Alright, enough of that. On to the next place. I'm on my way to the Lodi Art District, which is supposed to be the place that has the best street art in all of Delhi. And I'm a fan of that shit, so let's see some of it. Alright, so this is absolutely true. As I was filming the street art and taking a picture of it, some kids came up to me, probably about like 8 years old, like a group of maybe 6, 8-year-olds. And one of them came up to me and he said, "Oh, I'm a gangster, I'm a gangster." And I was like, all right, sure. And then he pulled out a knife and he said, "Give me some money." And I called his bluff. I didn't think that he was going to use the knife, but luckily he didn't, and I didn't give him any money. I still fucking can't believe that just happened. I've traveled to some pretty sketchy areas. This is the first time I've ever been threatened with violence. Granted, it was from a kid, so that only sort of counts, but still. Forgot if I mentioned it, but this city is filled with cattle. Looking back on it, I should have kicked that kid's ass. I'm a little mad at myself now that I didn't fuck him up. Peace is usually the answer, but not always. What do you guys think? Did I do the right thing? Should I kick that kid's ass? Let me know in the comments. Checking out one last series of tombs today, and apparently one of these is a UNESCO heritage site. I always like to look out for those. Here's one of this park's tombs. It's called Afsarwala. I think I got that right. Notice that there really aren't many signs around here. I guess you're just supposed to walk around and enjoy the vibes. I support it. I think that's a better way to enjoy things anyway. This is it. This is the main tomb. I think it's called Humayun's tomb. Something like that. Sorry if I'm butchering it. Unlike the other tombs, there seems to be a bit to explore in this one. I guess that's why it's so big. Before I start heading back for today, here is one last tomb. I think this is the most tombs that I've seen in one day, by quite a lot. Pigeons fucking love hanging out in these tombs. I stubbed my foot pretty hard back at that one tomb, and I'm feeling it now on my 3-mile walk back. I could take a tuk-tuk, but I'm stubborn. Well, at least on the way back, I get to see the Supreme Court of India. I'm sure it's not any better than ours, but still. There's the Supreme Court. The Indian one, that is. This is true. If you go to Google Maps and look up Supreme Court of India, it looks like it's in the shape of a giant penis. I am back at my Airbnb for the evening. And yeah, so I'm gonna get up pretty early tomorrow to get to the next town. But yeah, that about wraps up my time in Delhi. I enjoyed it. I didn't get Delhi belly at all. I've never been so happy to have not shit violently. All right, see you next video.